few months back, I looked at 10 great hard science fiction books, but I have many more that I could have looked at and some great suggestions in the comments on that video. So here we are again with 10 more awesome hard science fiction books, all of which put the science firmly back in science fiction. Daniel Suarez is the author of several books, probably best described as techno-thrillers, but more recently has written some that I think fit well into this hard SF category. In Delta V, a wealthy entrepreneur assembles a crew of elite astronauts and engineers to execute a high-risk asteroid mining operation, aiming to revolutionise the global economy. As the mission faces unforeseen dangers, including equipment failures, corporate betrayals, and the psychological strain of isolation, the team must adapt to ensure their survival and the success of their mission. The story details the intricacies of spaceflight in a very realistic manner. There are orbital transfers, cislunar orbits, and the real-world physics behind deep space missions, the propulsion technologies and spacecraft design, ensuring that the technical aspects of spaceflight feel grounded in current scientific understanding. Instead of settling planets, Delta V focuses on space-based habitats as a long-term solution for human expansion, addressing radiation exposure and resource utilisation. Suarez also considers the physical and psychological challenges of deep space missions for the human crew, including isolation, teamwork and survival in extreme conditions. Delta V examines the moral and economic costs of pushing the boundaries of human exploration, questioning whether technological advancement justifies the risks and the sacrifices involved. This is a thriller with some realistic science that fans of The Martian or The Expanse might also enjoy. And there's also a sequel, Critical Mass, which was published just a couple of years ago. A hard SF classic next. In Mission of Gravity, Hal Clement takes us on quite a ride, considering some extreme physics in the process. Mescaline is an oblate or squished to you and me planet with a rapid 18-minute rotation, causing gravity to vary wildly from 700 times that of Earth at the poles to just 3 times that of Earth at the equator. This extreme variation shapes everything on Mescaline, from its atmosphere to its biology. The Mescalinites are centipede-like creatures, and they've evolved to survive in this intense gravity. Their fear of heights is deeply ingrained, as even a small fall in high gravity would be fatal. Clement deploys plenty of sound science in his world building. He meticulously explores Mescaline's weather, geology and atmospheric physics, showing how a planet with such gravity and rotation would function. The guts of the story is a rescue mission. A human scientific rocket, a probe, is stuck in Mescaline's polar region, where gravity is too high for direct human retrieval, requiring local assistance. Charles Lackland, a human scientist, enlists the help of Bar Lennon, a Mescalinite trader, offering weather predictions in exchange for assistance in reaching the probe. As they make their way to the pole, Bar Lennon and his crew face treacherous environments, hostile Mescalinite factions and scientific obstacles, gradually overcoming them through a mix of human knowledge and alien ingenuity. Though Clement later revised some of his gravity estimates, Mission of Gravity remains a landmark in hard science fiction, praised for its rigorous planetary science and sense of wonder, and it's a heavy influence on future hard SF like Robert L. Forward's Dragon's Egg that I considered in the last video. In Adrian Tchaikovsky's best-selling Children of Time, we're focused more on the biology this time than the physics. Dr. Kern attempts to uplift primates on a terraformed exoplanet using a nanovirus, but when the monkeys perish, burning up in the atmosphere on entry, the virus instead accelerates the intelligence of a pre-seeded population of jumping spiders. Instead of capable simian helpers, future human colonists are in for an 8-legged surprise. Let's hope that they're not scared of spiders. Much of the underlying science in this book is evolutionary biology. Tchaikovsky meticulously explores things like natural selection, genetic inheritance, and social evolution, showing how the spider species develops intelligence, language, technology, and culture across the millennia. I particularly enjoyed the spider's approach to computation, which involves a client insect species forming parts of a living computer, which is eventually capable of extraordinary levels of parallel computing. Whilst the spiders thrive and advance scientifically, the last remnants of humanity aboard the Ark ship Gilgamesh struggle with social and technological decline, creating a stark contrast between progress and regression. It's not all biology, though. To solve a particular plot problem, Tchaikovsky invokes some human technology melding, the downloading of a consciousness into an AI substrate. Meanwhile, the spiders are passing through key scientific revolutions, from early tool use to radio communication and spaceflight, paralleling human history but adapted to their unique biological and social structures. I think this difference in perspective, this imagining what such an advancement would look like given the starting point of your basic spider, is for me the most interesting aspect of the book. How will the evolved spiders with their very different society coexist with the remaining humans? Will it be war, or will an understanding be reached? Let's stick with biology and take a look at The Colour of Distance by Amy Thompson. Dr. June Asari is a human biologist, and she's stranded on an alien planet and must adapt to the amphibian-like Tendu, whose physiology and ecosystem are vastly different from us humans. To survive in the planet's toxic atmosphere, Juna undergoes extensive physiological modifications by the Tendu, which gives a neat showcase of the novel's focus on biotechnology, symbiosis, and genetic adaptation. They don't just heal and modify Juna, they fix her, sorting out some underlying health issues that she didn't even know she had. The Tendu communicate through skin colour changes, a complex form of visual language that Juna must learn, highlighting themes of linguistic evolution and interspecies understanding. The Colour of Distance also explores the planet's intricate ecosystem, taking a close look at the Tendu's deep integration with their environment and the potential harm caused by human intervention once they return. Over the course of 3 years, Juna assimilates into Tendu society, adopting their customs and even raising a young Tendu, leading to personal conflicts when she comes to eventually be rescued. The inevitable return of the human survey team forces negotiations between the humans and the Tendu, with both sides struggling to bridge cultural and ethical divides. Rendezvous with Rama is set in the 2130s when an asteroid detection system called SpaceGuard identifies a mysterious, fast-moving object entering the solar system, later named Rama. Rama is an enormous, perfectly smooth, 50-kilometre long rotating cylinder designed for artificial gravity with a breathable atmosphere inside, indicating some advanced extraterrestrial engineering. The crew of the Endeavour enters Rama and discovers a massive world-like interior featuring an artificial sea, a geometric city-like structure, and a vast ecosystem seemingly prepared for activation. As Rama nears the sun, its internal systems awaken, melting the cylindrical sea and generating storms and powering up an immense light source, hinting at an advanced and self-regulating biosphere. The explorers encounter biomechanical entities called biots, which maintain and recycle Rama's interior, illustrating a sophisticated blend of artificial intelligence and organic life. Unfortunately, the visiting explorers are then in danger of being seen as something that needs tidying up. The ship's propulsion system and energy sources and purpose remain mysterious, with only fragmented clues such as the three-legged spacesuits and holographic displays suggesting the nature of the Ramans themselves. As the human mission departs, Rama uses the sun's gravity to accelerate and then activates an unknown propulsion system, heading towards the large Magellanic Cloud, leaving more questions than answers. Before we look at some more rock-hard science fiction books, tell me, what are your favourites? Do any of these sound good to you? Do let me know in the comments down below. In The Secret of Life, a Chinese Mars mission secretly returns with an alien microbe, which is later released into the Pacific during an industrial espionage attempt. The organism thrives, forming floating biomats that disrupt our marine ecosystems, and they won't stop growing and spreading. The Martian life form is fundamentally different from terrestrial life at a genetic level, raising serious questions about the panspermia concept, evolutionary divergence, and the adaptability of alien organisms in Earth's biosphere. Macaulay explores the implications of genetic engineering, exobiology, and biotechnology, exploring how human science struggles to control and understand the Martian virus, which behaves unlike any known microorganism. The sections on Mars are meticulously detailed, featuring realistic planetary science and the challenges of Martian colonisation and the search for extraterrestrial life, echoing Kim Stanley Robinson's Mars trilogy. The Secret of Life critiques corporate control over biotech, highlighting the ethical concerns of privatised science, the secrecy of biotech firms, and the consequences of reckless experimentation. Mariella Anders is a brilliant but unconventional biologist, and she represents cutting-edge research in the book in genetics and microbiology. Her journey involves high-stakes laboratory work, field studies, and the struggles between scientific openness and corporate greed. The Martian virus threatens Earth's biosphere by outcompeting native marine organisms. The Secret of Life examines potential biocontamination scenarios, ecosystem collapse, and humanity's ability, or lack of it, to respond to the alien biological threats. Paul Macaulay, himself a former research scientist, grounds his speculative biology in real-world principles, making The Secret of Life a compelling example of biologically driven hard science fiction. In Creation Node, a deep space expedition discovers that the hypothetical Planet 9 in the Oort cloud is actually a primordial black hole, emitting structured Hawking radiation, hinting at intelligent design and advanced means of communication. Creation Node explores realistic space travel tech, including the Daedalus-inspired fusion drive, a real spaceship design from the 1970s, in this case relying on helium-3 mined from Saturn's atmosphere via a space elevator. The crew of another ship, the Shadow, which has been on its way to Planet 9 for 3 decades, encounters a feathered humanoid. With all the applied creativity of an entire crew of the spaceship, this individual is henceforth known as Feathers. It may be that Feathers is not just an extraterrestrial, but an intentional message embedded in physical form. The expedition learns that their universe is just one amongst many in the multiverse, and a godlike entity, Terminus, proposes a radical plan to prevent cosmic death by transforming the Milky Way into a self-regenerating creation node. The price of eternal renewal, though, is high. Humanity's galaxy would need to be reset, effectively wiping out all life within it. And this raises deep philosophical and existential questions about sacrifice and cosmic purpose. The journey takes the characters to an alternate future where Feather's homeworld exists, demonstrating Stephen Baxter's fascination with deep time and the implications of cosmic scale evolution. Combining rigorous physics with grand cosmic speculation, Creation Node blends near-future spaceflight with vast, mind-expanding ideas, reminiscent of the likes of Olaf Stapledon and Arthur C. Clarke. Amongst other things, Carl Schroeder's Permanence explores the concept of interstellar cyclers, spacecraft that never slow down, travelling at 85% of light speed at all times and using Lorentz force turning, whatever that is, to maintain circular trajectories, enabling trade and transport between the distant halo worlds which orbit brown dwarf stars. In the world of Permanence, faster-than-light travel is only possible between lit worlds, those where the star is bright enough to kick-start the fusion engines for the FTL ships, whilst the older Cycler Compact relies on the relativistic cyclers. This tension between the FTL societies and those dependent on slower methods highlights a shift in spacefaring economics and politics. The Halo worlds orbit brown dwarfs, demonstrating the plausibility of sustaining human civilizations around substellar objects which can retain atmospheres and provide long-term energy sources. In the rights economy, all physical objects are nano-tagged to enforce micropayments for proprietary information usage, creating a dystopian economic system where even basic transactions require some form of digital authorization. Our protagonist Rue Castle stumbles upon an interstellar cycler which she names Gentry's Envy, which turns out to be of alien origin. Her salvage claim to the ship sets off a struggle between political factions, including the rights economy, the Cycler Compact and some inevitable rebels, all seeking control of its advanced tech. Schroeder also introduces the Shix Club, an ancient race that deployed waves of self-replicating machines to wipe out potential competitors, raising the spectre of an uncontrolled von Neumann probe scenario. The brown dwarfs are encircled by power tethers that extract energy and resources, showcasing a realistic means of large-scale energy collection in deep space. Permanence also engages with philosophical ideas like Nietzsche's eternal return, posing the question of whether individuals would choose to relive their lives exactly as they happened, framing a critique of organised religion and deterministic worldviews. The novel also contrasts two competing civilizations, one built on open access and mutual aid via the slower-than-light cyclers, and the other enforcing rigid digital rights management and economic control. And if that sounds familiar, it's because that conflict mirrors real-world debates that we're having right now about intellectual property and free access to knowledge and technological monopolization. The Quantum Thief explores the concept of mind uploads with copies or emulations of human consciousnesses called gogols. And these digital entities exist in vast computronium megastructures, simulating trillions of virtual lives under the rule of the Sobernost, a faction dedicated to digital resurrection. The Zoku faction adheres to the quantum no-cloning theorem, which prohibits exact duplication of quantum information. And this conflicts directly with the Sobernosts' mass copying of human minds, leading to a philosophical and existential war. The Oubliette is a mobile Martian city, and it's among the last refuges of something close to baseline humans. The Oubliette employs advanced cryptographic controls that dictate access to our memories and preventing the Sobernos from making copies. People can selectively share experiences via an exo-memory network, creating an intricate digital privacy system. The Oubliette operates on a unique economic system where time is currency. When a person's time runs out, they're temporarily transferred into robotic bodies, the Quiet, to serve the city before being restored to their human form with restored time credit. Jean de Flambeur's lost memories are locked within a quantum-entangled revolver, requiring him to make morally difficult choices to retrieve them. This scenario highlights the novel's theme of quantum-based security and information control. Jean de Flambeur is a master thief, and he's broken out of a Sobernos prison by Miele, a warrior from the Orc Cloud, and taken to the Martian city Oubliette to recover his lost memories. However, Flambeur fails to recover all of his memories, leaving Mars with only a mysterious Schrodinger's box. The Quantum Thief explores how memory can be manipulated, erased, or even fabricated, raising questions about personal identity. With exo-memory and time-based social structures and digital reincarnation, the Quantum Thief examines the consequences of extreme longevity and technological control over our very perception and reality itself. We're getting into some serious cutting-edge science now with Schild's ladder, which is based on a fundamental shift in physics, where reality is described as a network of mathematical graphs rather than conventional quantum field theory. A physics experiment near the star Mimosa unintentionally creates a new, more stable vacuum state that expands relentlessly at half the speed of light, converting ordinary space-time into a new configuration as it goes. Civilizations in its path are forced to flee from its advancing edge. This novo vacuum continues to spread indefinitely, suggesting that our universe's laws of physics are not as stable or fundamental as we thought. Inevitably, there are disagreements about how to handle this new situation. The preservationists want to stop the novo vacuum from consuming the universe, whilst the yielders believe it's a discovery too valuable to destroy without further understanding it. The expanding novo vacuum releases energy that enables spacecraft to travel along its edge, eventually allowing a research vessel, the Rindler, to match its velocity and study its properties. To add to the fun, the team on the Rindler discovered that the novo vacuum is not just a destructive force. It harbours an entire ecosystem, entirely new forms of life, including microscopic Vendex and multicellular xenobes, proving that alternate physical laws can still support complex ecosystems and raising ethical dilemmas about whether to stop its expansion or to let it reshape the cosmos. That's all the books that we're looking at today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want even more hard SF recommendations, you can watch this one next. As always, thanks for watching, and until next time, goodbye for now.